Hey, this is Scott. So, welcome back. I'm continuing on my business analytics series for young professionals trying to enter the field. Been doing a series on pricing. The first two were well received. I didn't get a lot of comments on the third one. So, this is kind of what I was covering in that. The optimization of prices for B2B customers. But anyway, you can provide some feedback if you want to see something along those lines. So, what I thought I would do, I found an old paper that I'd done a few years back, so actually, several years back, and but it's still very pertinent and for a couple of different reasons. So, I thought I would just speak a little bit to that paper and what I did. So I was working for a large internet retailer, and we were trying to determine what creative is when you put on your website, the different screens and presentation of products that you're selling and everything else. Gets a little more involved in that, but that's a decent low level description of what you're trying to do in your creative. You're trying to get eyeballs on your screen in the right places so that people will click through and buy your product. That's essentially creative. And so we were doing that as well as some offers that were done. And so we were always testing. So if you're familiar with A/B testing, it's historically very simple. Statistical t-test is really kind of what it's about. Um, and so one of the things that I tried to do at this internet retailer, I almost named it. Um, you could probably find my LinkedIn profile and find out who it was. But anyway, so simple t-tests were a way to test, one campaign versus another and statistically gauge which one is beating. If you change the creative to beat the original or not. So that's A/B testing at a very low level. So this is really a marketing application. So yeah, so this paper is out there. It's in Marketing Bulletin, so you can find it. Um, or if you uh, hit me up on LinkedIn. I can maybe provide you a copy of it. So, but I kind of wanted to go through the premise of it. So, when I was at Texas Instruments, I worked with a lot of engineers and we were working on statistical process control. And so, when I moved into a marketing group, totally different area, and this is really kind of the crux of what I want you to get out of this is the fact that you can take information from one domain, totally different domain. And as an analytics professional, you can take that information and you can translate it into an entirely different domain. So process control is used in engineering, manufacturing all the time. It's what you do is you run along a line and you see if some intervention that you made impacted things is one way to do it. Or you can just let the line run and then during normal day occurrences, did something happen to the line where an operator needs to do some sort of intervention? Sorry. So you can force an intervention or one can occur dynamically. And if something happens dynamically, then you may need to control it, you may not. Um, so if you have an interest in SPC, let me know that too, because I could definitely do a video or two on that. So I'd love to hear from you on that. So what I realized is that A/B testing requires a lot of data, right? So you have to accumulate a lot of data. You have to let something run for a long time. You accumulate it, then you see if something happened, and then you kind of move from there. So this paper is talking about the fact that these control charts, and I go through the methodology. What is a control chart? It's been around for a long, long time, but that doesn't matter. Techniques that have been around for a long, long time. I mean, we still using addition, right? So things that work. Um, there you go. So I kind of go through an example here where, you know, what's a simple test, a t-test, right? So that's a test, student T, you find in a stats book, um, versus a control chart. And the bottom line is that using a control chart, it's much more sensitive to a change, right? You can, the crux is that you can identify a significant change much quicker in a control chart. It's also visual, which is very nice, of course. So you can see, you know, the data, you plot the data from run to run to run. This could be in days, it could be in hours, it could be in minutes, it could be in milliseconds, right? So depending on the granularity of your data, you basically take the data, you pull it in, and then you run it. And then you have these bars, the green bars here, which are the upper and the lower limit. And these are based on statistical process control. And if you have an outlier, right? So this last point goes above above the line, that is a significant change to the existing process. So that's kind of the way that a control chart works. These things are great. I mean, I've used them so many times for so many things. And this was um, this was extremely valuable, um, doing what we were doing, because we could do A/B testing, very slow. Then we could do multifactorial testing, which allows you to experiment a little bit more. Maybe I could do something on that if you have an interest in that. Or you can use these control charts and you can determine whether something is significant or not. So that's what we did. And so this is the marketing promotion results of a campaign. All right. So the existing trend, and then boom, we make our change, our intervention, we change the process, and then it goes above the line, and you can see it stays above the line. And so we have a significant result here. And here's some advantages: requires less data, you can find it faster, sooner, uses a time series component. Um, So you're using the historical past of the data, not the most recent result. So it's more sensitive, and you can use this for subsequent testing. So those are some of the pluses. Anyway, and there's all kinds of control charts. There's individuals, there's X bar, there's etc. But anyway, that is a paper that I've done, and so if you're interested, you know, you can take a look at that. And I'd like your feedback. Um, I'm going to continue these if there's interest. If not, I'm going to move in a different direction. So let me know. Thanks.